Are live on the intranet.
Hello,
I don't like
internet.
getting pooped on.
Yeah.
We've had
That's
some
one way to
technical
start.
difficulties, but we have overcome them. I don't know if people will find us. There's nobody here yet.
Fair enough,
It's
fair enough.
okay.
Oh, forgive us, guys. Sometimes OBS is not always the most cooperative partner. It happens. So
All
do
right.
apologize.
Do you want to stop doing sound check?
Yeah, we can go ahead and stop doing sound check.
Are you sure?
All right, here. I found it. Alternate names to the century eggs are preserved egg, 100-year egg, 1,000-year egg, 1,000-year-old egg, millennium egg, black egg, blacking egg, skin egg, old egg. It originated in Hunan, China. And it is egg preserved in clay, ash, salt, quicklime, and rice hulls. And you can use duck, chicken, or quail eggs to do it.
Heard.
And it looks like this,
Oh, okay.
which is pretty gross looking. But yeah, so they do this. They do that. That's what they do.
Yeah.
They preserve it, and I think the ash and clay is what made me think you had to bury it.
Yeah.
But basically, you do it for a few weeks to a few months.
Heard.
You leave it in
Got it.
that
Now,
preservation state, and then it goes black like this.
my newest North American toffee scarf for the final year of Goodison.
Nice.
Yep.
There you go.
Yeah, pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah. I just got that in the mail the other day. So add it to the collection.
Its literal meaning from its Chinese name, its character name is leather or skin egg.
Nasty as shit.
Probably.
Yeah.
Looks like it.
They eat some crazy shit over there.
Ugh.
Chicken feet. They'll do the duck egg with the duck still in it, the embryo of the duck. in
Right.
it. Yeah, they do all that crazy stuff. Suey egg?
Salty flavor
I
transforming.
want to say I think it was called like a suey egg or something like that. Is the one that's got the embryo in it.
Ugh. It just sounds gross, man.
A suey.
Heard.
Suey.
Guess what, Sam?
What?
Mel's got the intro apparently this week.
Uh-oh.
I do.
Okay. Somebody sent something funny in?
Well, the question is, if it's Billy Burton, has he learned to edit himself and not go for 30 seconds and just got to be quick? You know, if it's Taylor, we know what to expect from the professional. He brings it. The meme game was fire this week in the DU football show closed group.
Yes, it
Thursday Night
was.
FC. I was like, somebody's back.
Yeah. For real.
Somebody got a little free time on their hands. All right, producer Mel, we ready to get started, or are you still waiting for a few people to show up? Or
I mean, I don't care if I show I don't know. The sewing circle, nobody works tomorrow. Where are you all at?
I have to work
Green
tomorrow.
Giant.
yeah,
I don't plan on being sober tomorrow.
no, that's
One way or the other, we canceled all the tours. No tours for us.
is that what
Okay,
we do now?
you guys ready?
Yeah, we're ready. Let's do this shit.
Waiting on you. There you go.
Tonight's episode of the DU Football Show is brought to you by Malort. Drink of losing clubs over the weekend. It's just another Malort Monday.
Very good.
Not
okay,
bad.
Mr. Benson.
The
Little
only
cut
one
in
of us
and out
that
there,
won,
but,
yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's everybody's favorite bit. It's not no Malort Monday. It's all Malort
It's all Malort Monday.
People fucking love it when we've all got to drink Malort.
I know it sucks.
Except for the three of us. We all hate it. Let's start the show.
Born in the land of Bowie, Maryland. Bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Houston.
Sam Houston?
Arsenal fans have another Sam. AKA the fucking Gooner Graham. Snub of a lord. Looks great in shorts. me.
Sam Graham.
Fucking United! Fucking United!
Hello and welcome to the DU Football Show, a completely biased recap of the English Premier League as told by two common American schmucks. I am your host, Sam Houston, and across the way from me, my co-host, Mr. Samuel Graham, who apparently likes some backdoor play.
I don't, actually. It's just a funny debate I thought everyone would enjoy.
How you doing over there, buddy?
Oh, not bad. How are you?
Yeah, I'm hanging in there and on the ones and twos and apparently dealing with a fucking poltergeist because the board is just nut shit
Cut
tonight.
itself off. That was weird.
We had OBS do some weird things. Restream did some weird things. The board is doing weird things.
Good thing you all are working with a professional. We're recording at the DU Public House just outside the nation's capital. You can check us out wherever you get your podcasts. And, of course, streaming live every single Monday night, even when OBS wants to be a pain in the ass. Should you want to chat with us, there's many ways that you can. Mr. Graham, tell the good people how they can get in touch.
Of course, you could try to find the hidden stream and comment there, or it's at DU Football Show on all the social media and dufootballshow@gmail.com to get in touch via email.
Very good. And as we were mentioning just before the recording of the show, one Mr. Taylor, apparently the Evan Williams kind of knocked around the old cobwebs, got the old creative juices flowing, and he has been on a meme tear this past week, even including doing a P1 costume for Christian, which I thought was fucking brilliant.
That was funny.
Absolutely brilliant.
That
And
was pretty
especially
good.
All the spirit of Halloween stuff all next to it. And then I forgot who it was who did the one for you where it just said Arsenal and had nothing.
Yeah.
And of course,
that's pretty good.
Sure, Billy with the new Malort sponsorship for Arsenal.
For Arsenal, yeah.
That was
good.
very good too.
It was pretty funny.
Pretty fucking quality.
Drama.
Sam and myself both work in the wine and spirit industry and both have a deep, passionate love for all things distilled spirits. So as the red-blooded Americans we are, we vow to have a drink in our hand throughout this show and every single show. Ladies and gentlemen, never, ever, ever doubt our ability to get something when we fucking want it.
Yep.
We are enjoying an annual release, also a bit of a unicorn bottle. Mr. Graham, why don't you tell us what we're having tonight?
We have the Whistle Pig Boss Hog 11, the Juggernaut.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the Juggernaut, bitch. Remember that video?
Yep.
One of the greatest viral videos of all time. Each year, an unstoppable search for whiskey wonder beckons the Boss Hog to the far corners of the earth. A karmic question that knows no bounds, beginning with single barrel rye. For this, our 11th utterance of the mantra, Whistle Pig's whiskey makers journey to Rajasthan, India, the land of kings, in search of...
Excellently pronunciated, by the way.
Thank you. The land of kings in search of precious spices to forge the world's first Tandai barrel-aged rye. An alluring elixir served in celebration of victory and creation, Tandai joins the Shakti of straight rye whiskey with a floral mediation of saffron, cinnamon, cardamom, and nutmeg, further enlivened by fennel, poppy, and black peppercorn. The result is a splendid wellspring of strength and majesty, a saga befitting the Maharaya of rye. Fearlessly first among all whiskeys, powerfully complex and bottled at proof, the Juggernaut hails to the grandest of all the Boss Hog promises. Stupendous!
Well, the stupendous part is Dave Pickerel. When they would do a Boss Hog, he would always say it would always be barrel strength. It would always be a unique barrel finishing. It would always be limited. It would always be rye. And it couldn't just be tasty. It had to be stupendous. It had to be an incredible tasting barrel.
Gotcha.
Did
you get the actual proof of this?
104.3.
Okay.
Got that this early evening. Also, our friend said, "Welcome to the Four Daughters Club."
Yeah. Thank you.
You gotta get to nosing this, sir. I've been already smelling it. So, little nutmeg, little cinnamon, but it's all in different wafts in ranges. A little bit of that fennel seed, that little bit of licorice.
I'm getting a licorice.
Yeah, it's got a great smell to it. Really does. Little perfumey, but I don't hate that.
No, and I get a lot of allspice up front first.
Yeah.
I don't get the licorice till the mid palate, and it's not a heavy licorice flavor by any means.
Not a big bite.
It's
kind
a
of bucca licorice.
herbaceous flavor. It's like you're making a broth with fennel.
Yeah, and it plays with the rye. It plays with the rye very well because rye is just naturally spicy.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, this
It's
is
decent.
Yeah,
It's pretty good. Usually runs about 600 on the shelf.
yeah, about 600 on
roughly
the shelf.
650 in that sort of range.
Yeah.
I think wholesale this year went up a bit from what I've heard.
And
of course, my company lost this brand, so
I have had every single edition. I've had at least a dram of every single edition.
yes,
Oh,
you have. And we famously, me, Rob, and Auburn went in on a bottle for you for your birthday, for your 50th.
Yep.
And you still have a bunch of it, don't you?
Oh, yeah, I got a ton of it,
we
yeah.
all weren't terribly impressed with that particular iteration.
yeah. Felt it was a little faint.
Not that it was bad whiskey, it just wasn't one of our favorite.
Well, the new master blender, well, not new because this is her third edition. You know,
Right.
she did 9, 10, and now 11. The big difference between her and Pete Lynch, Megan and Pete, who is the first person that used to do it with Dave and did a few of them himself as well, they tended to be very pronounced flavors, where Megan goes for a more subtle, nuanced flavor. And I bet you if I went back to the 9, I might like it a little bit more. In fact, I probably, you know what, I might this weekend pour myself a glass of that just to kind of revisit it again.
Yep.
The 10 was fucking stupendous.
Yeah.
The 10 was amazing.
I don't remember having 10.
We had 10,
to have had
we
it
had
in
10
here.
on the show.
I just don't remember it.
It was the frankincense and myrrh and
that's right.
cider
Yeah, it was
and
the
everything.
Wiseman.
Yeah, it was very good.
Yeah.
It was exceptionally good. The 4 and 5 are still the best, hands down.
5 was the whiskey of the world, wasn't
No,
it?
4.
That
4 the
was
Black
4
Prince.
Black Prince. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got
5 was the death one.
yes, that
pig
was
that
the
died.
Spirit of Mauve.
Yeah.
I think I have 3, 4, 5, and 6 in there, and 9 is what I think I have.
Still have some, yeah.
Yeah, I still have some. The 4 is just fucking remarkable. That was the Armagnac one. I like this.
I still have a mini of the mauve.
Yeah.
The Spirit of Mauve one.
Yeah, I like this one quite a bit.
Yeah,
This
it's
is
delicious.
very, very good. There for a little while, I felt like they were trying to do too much, and I think they were kind of getting in their own way. It was somewhere after the Samurai Scientist. Those couple in there were kind of...
Well, that was the what did they do?
Scientist was 6. I didn't really particularly
I
care
can't
for
remember.
7. It was
the
7
it
and
was
8.
it was the Magellan and
Yeah.
then the other one.
Yeah.
The Magellan, and there was one that did the rest of the journey. So it used like Thai rum barrels, and then there was something else.
Yeah.
And then they did kind of a weird release where they blended those two because I think they had a lot left over. And did a kind of a mid-year Boss Hog release for the first time ever to get rid of their overstock, in my opinion.
I wasn't a huge fan of 7 or 8. Those are the two I probably didn't particularly care for the most. 2 is interesting, but not like it's. If you wanted to buy a bottle of it now, it's expensive as shit.
Yeah, because there's none of it left.
Right. That's the Isla Barrel ones, which it's
Okay.
cool, but
I've never had that one.
I mean, in comparisons to what the other stuff they do is, it's fine. It's fine.
Right.
I don't know if Rye and Pete play nice together. You know, Rye and that kind of peat smoky iodine-y thing. For me, it was
Is that
still,
why Pete left and Ryan stayed?
yeah, it's still.
Thank you.
It is still. I mean, again, when we're talking about these whiskeys like this, we're debating how much salt went into a dish. We're being like top chef judges.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if you get a chance to drink this whiskey at a decent price, fucking get yourself a glass of it. Just
100%.
like probably cost you $50 for an ounce or $60 for an ounce, and I would say do it. Like. honestly, you go to a place like Jack Rose and they've got them all. Fucking do a bunch of go in multiple times and do every fucking one. You know,
Yep.
try them all. Why wouldn't you?
The older ones might be more expensive than that now.
Oh yeah, well because once they're done, they're done.
They're gone. Yeah.
Right now, but the beauty of again a place like Jack Rose or anybody in DC is as long as you pay the taxes on it, you can get it. So if they're willing to pay for it in auction to bring it in, as long as there's a bottle to be bought, they can get it.
Right. Yeah.
And also back then too, when it was still with Bacchus, someone like Jack Rose got 6 bottles.
Right.
Like we didn't
that's
fuck
true.
around. They got a ton.
Because
you
y'all
know?
just do what you wanted over there.
Right. Pretty
The
much.
Wild West.
Yeah, pretty much. Yes, exactly. That's what you did do. Because remember the
So that happens
spirits,
when you only call on 12 stores in the state.
spirits were the icing on the cake, and they wanted us to sell a bunch of wine, and you'd sell a bunch of wine by dangling the boss hog over top of their head.
Right.
Not me. I just sold the icing, which was nice. Oh, anyways, what else should we always do, Mr.
Always
Graham?
remember to drink responsibly, which is very easy to do with a unicorn sample.
Yes, it is. You sip it nice and slow. So cheers.
There we
Yeah,
go.
notice I broke out the Riedels for you tonight there,
Of course.
Mr. Graham.
Yeah, I had to.
Oh yeah, for this, it's
for
it's gotta be the Riedel. Gotta be the Riedel every single time, man. All right. I think this very simply, every single game with the exception of Manchester United and Chelsea could have opened this show. I think there were storylines across the board in
Yeah.
all the matches. But I also don't think we expected the following to happen. We figured it was going to be a walk in the park for the big sides.
Certainly didn't expect this.
Problem was, 2 of them never even got out of the fucking locker room. Newcastle 1, Arsenal 0, Bournemouth 2, Manchester City 1. This was, you know what? You done got Newcastle, man. This was
Yeah.
perfect execution from them. And allow me just to say this very bluntly, Sam. You guys didn't look good. You look like shit. You really didn't play well.
There's a reason for that, though. It's because we got dragged into playing their game. They did exactly what they wanted to do by hurrying us, by being physical, and instead of focusing on the football and playing quickly, we were more worried about going shoulder to shoulder with them. We were more worried about playing physically instead of playing through their lines.
Yeah.
And we moved the ball slow. I don't recall once us skipping a player trying to swing the ball to the other side of the field. We had a majority of the possession, but we did absolutely nothing fucking with it at all. It
Particularly
was
in the second half. I think you had 1 shot on target.
in the game.
Fucking 1.
Yeah.
Like,
I think that was the whole game. I don't think that was just the second half. Or it didn't come till the second half, but that was the only...
and it wasn't even a convincing shot. Like in the second half, you guys showed nothing that said, "Oh, we're gonna get into the game here now." It just never even
Well,
looked like it
because
was
we
ever
didn't
gonna
worry about our
happen.
own game plan. We didn't worry about playing our football, which for the last 2 years, pretty much, except for that one famous draw that Newcastle got at Arsenal, playing that real physical fall down to drag out kind of dark arts game.
Right.
That's been the only other time I can remember that we haven't tried to execute our own game plan.
Right.
We just decided to play their game, and they're just better at it than we are still.
And we've been saying a lot of last week. We were like, it feels like Newcastle hasn't even realized the season started yet. Season started for Newcastle.
Yeah, you'd think so.
Yeah.
What I'm worried about also, though, is it just shows how like we were worried about City without Rodri, right, when he first got injured. They've figured out a way to patch that up between Mateus Nunes and Mateo Kovacic and Gundogan. We have not figured out how to play without Odegaard yet.
Yeah.
Properly.
Right.
We look over the last few weeks, especially, the dumb, red cards and stuff, but we look devoid of ideas without Odegaard. We look terribly one-dimensional without Odegaard.
What is the current update on him?
He was rumored to be ready for that game. Wasn't. Potential there's this weekend to make the bench again. But probably looking more like his first start would be at post-international break.
Okay. He's not going to go on international break, is he?
His coach wants him to.
Fucking just Jesus.
If he's fit, he said he's going to call him up.
He ain't fit then. Arsenal will just say he ain't fit.
I would hope so,
Yeah.
and I would hope he would agree to that. The problem is he is the second man in a two-man group
yeah.
that the entire country's hopes hinge upon.
Yeah.
It's him and Holland.
Yeah, that's it.
Without either one of them,
But there's no qualifications
they
right
become
now.
a bang average team.
Yeah.
I don't know. Are they in Nations League?
They could be in Nations League. I don't even know if it's going to be Nations League is what they're playing. To be
Right. I have no
honest.
idea what they're playing. If it's friendlies and he plays, I'm going to be fucking livid.
Yeah, there's no reason to play him.
No.
Yeah, you do. That's when you do your old kind of bring up the old veteran that's played in the Norwegian league for fucking 20 years, and you let him get a
Let
fucking
him
cap.
go. Yeah, so we're talking about it. I wonder if Jorginho wouldn't have been better suited. He's a better passer of the ball than Trossard is. And with both Marino and Rice on the field at the same time, you can cover up Jorginho's lack of mobility.
Yeah,
So I'm not sure why we haven't tried Jorginho in that kind of number 10 role. He doesn't have to. You don't have to go press every fucking team.
and just needs
You do
to
because really
hit passes into the lanes is what he needs to do.
defensively,
Yeah.
our press is triggered by Odegaard also, right? He's the first one that normally runs beyond Havertz to hurry a center back or whoever. Without him, our press has been thrown off kilter. So we have not looked particularly good over the last few weeks. We looked less like ourselves that we've come to know and love over the last couple of seasons in this game in particular, and it's because we once again we stooped down to that game plan, to that level, and which is a perfectly acceptable way to play football. I'm not criticizing that. It's your job to then move the ball. How do you beat a press, right? Penetration or quick movement, because you need to make the defense shift or collapse. One of the two, so somebody's out of position if somebody's not fully switched on.
Right.
And I told you, I can't think of one time where Arsenal bypassed somebody in switching fields, right? So
not
it
at
was
all.
Saliba to Gabriel, then over to whoever was on the left at the time, Timber.
Yeah.
Or, then Timber back to Gabriel, back to Saliba. Not once did they skip Saliba and go straight over to Partey.
Right.
I think there was a big mistake, in my opinion, in letting not starting Ben White.
Yeah, I was a little surprised by that one too.
Because you lose width, you lose, and then once he came on, he was relatively ineffective.
Yeah.
And I think Partey, in this particular instance, Partey, moving Rice a little bit further up, having Partey anchor the midfield, and maybe not starting Marino in this particular instance would have been a better way to go.
Yeah, don't disagree. Isak's back for Newcastle. Isak scored a dandy of a goal. Great cross. Good header.
A goal from a former time, and it makes total sense. Right winger on the right side, lumps in a cross, guy heads it.
Yeah, pretty easy. Goal.
Neil Warnock, Tony Pulis, all the old heads are fucking just raging boners. There's a good goal for Britain. That
would say that is desperately what Newcastle has needed.
Yeah.
Not having him up top has
Big time.
kind of really stymied their offense.
Big time.
And for the
because
most
Gordon can't do it on his own. That Eddie Howe doesn't seem to trust Harvey Barnes properly yet.
Right.
He's always seems to be a sub. Almiron had a very truncated start to the season. I mean, didn't play for the first 5-6 games, and then has been kind of bit part until he just started last week for the first time. Then he's right back out of the team this week.
Yeah.
So, and then Colin Wilson's still injured. So without Isak, I mean, you're kind of blunted to begin with. It's just not happening for them.
Yeah. All right. So, Mr. Graham, what poison do you care to do? White girl mistakes, barrel aged, or the OG?
It is pumpkin season. Should I? No, I did that last time. Let's go OG. Let's go OG.
All right, good.
God bless it.
And for
Not happy about this.
I liked how you were all about the.
I'm now taking more Malort shots this season so far than I did the entirety of last season. I think.
exactly.
I think we only lost twice last year,
Yeah.
didn't we?
Well, you've lost twice this year.
Oh yeah, we drew that other game. That's right.
Yeah, but you're doing 2 in 3 weeks, which is particularly fitting.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying that, especially because you were like, "Oh, it's just one. I am going to do another one," and then Wha-bam, doing another one.
Bam.
Yeah,
it's not fun.
not a good three match run for you. Lost to Bournemouth, draw to Liverpool, and now the loss to
The draw to
Newcastle.
Liverpool's fine, except it felt more like a defeat because of being up twice. And, we could have mitigated some stuff. But, yeah, I was ready after this game to say that our title hopes were shot. Because we all know this is how City plays the second half of the season.
Right.
But they were kind enough to let us stay in it for a bit.
Do your shot, and then we'll get to that.
I don't want to do this and then also have to talk this dribble about these cuts.
Yeah, you're gonna have to. You're gonna have to.
I can't do it at the end of the segment.
No, you can do it right now.
Russ says 2 in 3 weeks. Sounds like what we call an Everton.
Yeah, pretty much. Yes. Why?
He also
Russ.
said earlier on the bright side, you didn't get a red card.
Fair. And I don't think any... Oh, that was the other thing I was going to say about last week. It came out after the fact. Jurriën Timber got subbed off. I was just tired, man.
Really?
Yeah, when he went off. And it was his replacement that was out of position with Mo Salah. And Darwin Nunez combined for that.
Pulled what the Colts quarterback did. The whole tap his head, get me out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fucking
Okay.
ridiculous.
Okay.
He was out with injury for a few weeks, and I guess he just wasn't up to speed and felt as though he couldn't help the team anymore, so he pulled himself.
Right.
So that's why I went off.
Cool.
So there you go. I'd like to sub myself off right now.
On the topic of someone who's had a stellar last 3 weeks, Bournemouth, the Cherries,
Kingmakers this season, it looks like.
beat Arsenal, draw Villa, and beat City. Fucking you go Cherries. How about that?
The biggest part of it was they made their... they hadn't won in their previous 21. This is their 22nd attempt at Manchester City. Finally beat them, obviously. But they made their intentions clear right from the get-go.
Oh, Ederson had to make a
within-
hell of a save in the first 3 minutes, right?
That's what I said. Within 3-4 minutes, he had to make a double save in one particular instance. And I think they rolled one just wide as well. I mean, it was absolutely amazing stuff from them, and what a start. I'm sorry, excuse me. That was within 90 seconds, actually, the double save. It was within 7 minutes that Semenyo got the opener.
Yep.
And, I mean, I haven't seen City allow anyone to have that much time or space in the box. It was a great little kind of strength and balance to hold off the defender. Great control. But then to be able to swivel it and shoot and just essentially caught Ederson off guard, I guess. But for them to not swarm him is just very un-City-like.
And this match had a lot of the similarities that your match against Bournemouth had, obviously minus the red card, but Bournemouth was not afraid. Bournemouth played their game. Bournemouth, City had a lot of possession, just like you had a lot of possession, but Bournemouth were ruthless. They took chances. They attacked. They absolutely went right at City, just like they went right at you. So, I mean, hats off to them. I mean, it was just a fantastic performance.
Yeah, and they did the same thing in the second half.
Yeah.
I mean, they came out, started within a few seconds of the restart, had a chance, and then had more chances throughout. I mean, they really asserted themselves. City didn't have a shot on target to the 80th minute, 82nd minute, something like that.
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy. I mean, I don't know when the last time that happened was.
Yeah.
But then Bournemouth did have to kind of hang on there at the end. I mean,
Of course.
What's his name? Travers.
Yeah.
Played very, very well, I thought.
Yeah,
And
with Kepa being injured. Yeah.
and had to make a couple, was needed at the end of the game a fair few times. Excuse me. And then you had Foden firing just wide right at the death. And City thought they could have had a penalty. I thought that would have been a touch harsh.
Yeah, I agree.
Personally. But, yeah, I mean, all credit to Bournemouth. It's absolutely fantastic, man.
Now, here's the smallest violin in the world playing for City because it looks like Manchester City's got a bench problem. Like, they don't have a ton of guys right now.
They had a couple of injuries, yeah.
Yeah, the team that we always laugh and say could put 3 whole starting lineups into the, I think their bench was actually short. I think they only went with 8 people instead of 10. Like, I mean, they're in a little trouble.
They got a couple problems, absolutely.
You know,
They're in a little bit of a bad way right now.
And then De Bruyne not getting really used again, and it was like you would think they'd try.
Well, apparently he's still coming back from his injury. Like he's still hurt.
Yeah, it just a little concerning for him. Now, obviously, we know they're going to get healthy later, and you're going to have Rodri. I think is supposed to be like February, March, I believe. Or is he the whole season?
A full ACL.
Yeah,
supposed to be the whole season.
He's on for the whole season.
But somehow he'll be recovered by Boxing Day, and they'll go on a 20-game win streak.
I'm not saying they are Rodri, but Kovacic and Gundogan
can do a job.
Can do the job,
Absolutely.
right? And Kovacic has done fine. It'd be very nice for them if Mateus Nunes would start to play like he did when he was with Wolves. That would be very
but they
helpful
won't let
them.
him. It's not he doesn't have the freedom at City. He has to play within Pep's system is the issue.
Yeah, that's very
he's one that's kind of handcuffed. I'd like to see him go somewhere else so we could see the best of him again.
Yeah. Yeah. How surprised are you by the start of the season so far? Like, I don't think we expected to see Liverpool in first place here.
No, that part doesn't really surprise me because you would have figured one of us, City, Liverpool, or maybe not Liverpool because of Klopp leaving and everything else. But after the first 2-3 games of the season, you knew they were serious.
Right.
And things haven't really changed much for them. Or City, of course.
I would say just the slips
one
and
of the three of
mistakes
us.
already. All three of you have lost matches now.
Yeah, but which also protects the Invincibles again with this. Thank you, Iraola. Thank you very much. Protect that one more time. Bang. No, but what is completely overshadows that.
Mm-hmm.
That Nottingham Forest are in third fucking place.
That's you got that written in the OSO notes.
But you can't. That's.
Again, Graham, we could have opened the show with their game and them being in third
but
place.
If you're starting, if you want to say that what's surprising of it, that's the surprise. You could make an argument even with Arne Slot coming in that Liverpool may be thereabouts. They also had a relatively easy start to the season. To be fair, we were us and Chelsea the only two teams they've really played so far. Mm-hmm. But in terms of stern tests for the Big Six or what have you, but it was absolutely amazing for them. They're the only one, obviously, of the top of the big boys that won this weekend, and credit to them. Good job. Fuck off.
Now we know City, just from their history, tend to recover from this. Do you think Arsenal can recover from this?
Yeah. I do. I think we'll be okay. Honestly, once we get O back, I think we'll be absolutely fine. Or Arteta just needs to trust Nwaneri because that's the closest thing we have to a proper number 10.
All 6 sides at the bottom faced off, and the sides that really needed points got them. Southampton 1, Everton 0, Leicester 1, Ipswich 1, Wolverhampton 2, Palace 2. Saints finally get a win, despite the fact that Everton were far and away the better side in this match and definitely had the opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, y'all really to start the game, you started well, but couldn't carve anything super clear cut out. Now, eventually, you got a bit of a stranglehold in the game, and were able to make some more quality chances.
Well, you think about the second half. Ramsdale made that world fucking save.
Yeah, big save. That's why England took him.
And then you had a couple that just went just barely wide, and you had the one that Harrison missed that he probably should have put away, which he caught Ramsdale out on, so he had an almost empty net.
Yep.
We'll talk.
But the whole first half really was watching two bald men fight over a comb.
Yeah.
It was fairly exciting from 18 to 18, but there was no cutting edge at all.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and now, I mean, that was the thing with Southampton. Everton were perfectly content to let Southampton have possession, and they did. They had a ton of possession. But as we've said, it's been, sound and fury signifying nothing is what it's been. And and then you have the header from Beto that if it's an inch lower, it's in the back of the fucking
that
net.
crashed off the crossbar on it. Yeah.
And then wouldn't you know it, right down the other end of the field, counterattack, boom, goal. And it's Armstrong, the guy who hasn't scored a goal all season, right? It's funny. We talked about how we talked about in injury time how this is a lot like the Ipswich game. It plays very much into Everton's hand, but Everton always loves to fucking gift newly promoted side points. And it felt like this was really, honestly, it was the fucking gift. It really was.
Right.
Oh, I'm going to already start pouring here. I do like to mention, I think it's worth bringing up, and good friend of the show and one of the owners of the Annapolis Blues and broadcasting legend, Dave Johnson.
Yes.
Put up a few posts about the offsides call that was called on Beto. That might be the most purple line I think I've ever fucking seen in my life.
Right.
And it took them quite a while to get there. I don't have an issue with it ultimately being called offsides. Fine, whatever. This is what I'm used to. But the thing I just have to keep hammering home, clear and obvious. Tell me in that play where it's clear and obvious that Beto was offsides.
Well, I think what proves here is what they say about offsides, and this is what semi-automated is supposed to help fix, and
Right.
should they bring it in, is offsides as it stands, as the way the rules written, is a black or white decision.
Yeah.
Either you're beyond the last defender or you're not.
Right.
But if you're not going to use the best technology to be able to
How do you really fucking
do this
know?
the right way, then how do you know?
Right.
That's what it
Right.
points out.
You're
the weakness.
What they show us, that picture with the lines, is what the official sees. It's not like
Right.
it's blown up or anything. It's exactly what the official sees.
when they decide to draw it, because remember they didn't do that for Arsenal 2 years ago against Brentford.
They did that.
Didn't even draw the lines.
We had one that was called offsides against Newcastle that they didn't draw the line for either, and it was just
wasn't that Liverpool Spurs won it or somebody
from last
or
year.
Liverpool Newcastle somebody whatever it was, they didn't draw the lines for that. When
Yeah.
they just forgot, didn't do it at all.
Exactly. And for me, it's the linesman kept the flag down for a reason, because he did not see it, and the linesman frankly has a better angle than a person looking at a TV screen of an overhead camera angle. And again, this is not me complaining about the call, because ultimately, fine, it was offsides. Whatever. This is the rules you guys have. Just stop using the verbiage clear and obvious. Just fucking stop it, because it's not clear and obvious.
But the clear and obvious is about an opinion.
Yeah.
It's about a referee's opinion on a tackle or something. Like if they call it and if it's very obviously not that thing that happened. This shouldn't be that, because it is an A or B, black or white decision. This line is the key.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we saw against Newcastle and Arsenal last season, right? Well, can't see by the camera.
Yeah.
The camera angle's fucked. We can't really make it out.
Right.
We just saw what happened here in this game. Line's purple, as you say.
Yeah.
So it's not as clear cut. And they chose, the FA and the Premier League chose to not implement semi-automated offsides.
Right.
Even though the technology is available.
The rest of the world is using it. For fuck's sakes, the MLS is using it.
Right.
Use it.
You just do it. I mean, it's
because then it takes it automatic 3D image and it says off, on or off, and then it's not debatable.
Done in
It's
seconds.
over.
Right.
It's done.
Now, I also like what IFAB's recommended, and I think starts next season, is that they are going to do the daylight thing that Arsene Wenger's been banging on about for years and years and years, where regardless of if that, to the letter of the law, Beto's offside, fine, as it stands. What advantage did he gain?
None.
Exactly.
None.
That's the point. So what they're saying is that there needs to be clear daylight between you. You have to have a full step on the defender.
It was a stellar touch and a stellar finish. Beto made all of that goal happen. 100% of that goal happen.
And there's really, at the end of the day, if you take the rules, quote unquote, out of it, or even looking at the situation and just with the rules in the back of your head for a second, there's no reason a goal shouldn't stand. There's no advantage gained by what he did.
And that red line and blue line, they did not look to me of anything that was like, oh yeah, this was definitely it. And someone argued me with it about like, well, clear and obvious sometimes takes time to figure out. By the very definition
of clear and obvious
is something that makes you go, oh shit, That looks wrong. That's what it should be. Like, it should be that.
You're absolutely right. I just don't, because of the nature of how offsides is written and it being an A or B, black or white decision, I don't think clear and obvious, that weird phrase, turn of phrase, and standard, quote unquote, standard that VAR is held to matters, because it is a finite, definitive answer. The problem is they chose not to implement the technology that would make it a finite, definitive answer faster and without a shadow of a doubt.
While in the championship this weekend, a player punched the ball out of the goalkeeper's hands that was in his hands right into the back of the net, and it got called a goal.
Yeah, I mean, that won somebody the World Cup, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, the old hand of God. What I'm going to toast to is Sean Dyche.
It's just sad. This is already the most pathetic one I've ever heard.
No. Get your head out of your fucking ass. Jared Branthwaite is your best fucking center back. He's fully healthy. Do not sub him in to make Keane the second striker in the 90th minute for a third week in a row. Fucking start Jared Branthwaite. It's not fucking hard, okay? He's arguably your best player on the pitch.
That's sad.
He's a $70 million player. You're going to sell him for fucking play him. There we go. Up the fucking toffees. I'm doing white girl mistakes.
Nice. Pumpkin spice.
Tastes like puked in pair of Uggs. Here's the funny thing, though. The win. All right, great. Southampton got a win. They're going to get a couple of them this year. They're still going down.
I think they're still going down as well.
It's not like this is going to kickstart the year. And Russell Martin was so damn psyched about it. And it's like,
I haven't heard Seist in a long time. That's a throwback.
Dude, you ain't going to have a job in January. Settle down.
One for the kids.
Yeah. Old school PG talk there, my friend.
For all you Gen Zers out there, Seist means excited.
Tractor Boys get the lead, but they also get another sending off.
Yeah, they're going to have to stop dropping points from winning positions. I saw a wild...
Somebody going to mistake them for Brentford.
Yeah.
Foreshadowing.
I saw a wild stat about Tottenham as well. At home specifically, they've gone behind 14 times. But they have a better than 50% hit rate at turning that around into wins.
No shit.
Ipswich do not have that.
No.
And that's a problem. That will also send you crashing right back down to the championship.
Well, here's the Ipswich. I would say the first half, the Leicester started with a few good opportunities, but for the most part, Ipswich was really taking it to the Foxes. And I think what ultimately hurt them is the fact that they didn't have a bigger lead, because they should have had a bigger lead.
Yeah, absolutely should have. The other thing, though, that being said, talk about sliding doors moments, right? And what could have been. Calvin Phillips should have gotten a red for the first tackle, I think. I think he should have been sent off for the first one. So they would have had to play a longer time man down. Because he obviously didn't get that card until a decent amount of time in the second half.
And once that red card happened, the game completely changed. It was all Foxes. And here's the thing. A better team would have made Ipswich pay. And it took them to the death, the 94th minute, to finally equalize. I mean, I'm telling you, I ain't sold on the fucking Foxes, man. I'm not.
No. They're picking up points more so than the other promoted teams. It's you have to be somewhat, this is what Forest was doing when everyone was bad last year. This is what you eventually did when everyone was bad last year.
Right.
You were putting points on the board where Luton was going 2-0 up and losing 3-2 every week.
Right, precisely.
And that's ultimately what kept y'all up, and both of you, Nottingham Forest and you, and sent Luton Town down in 18th.
Right.
Was, great football we're doing. Everything's exciting. We're this, that, the other. Oh, we narrowly missed out. Or, oh, man, Arsenal got us in stoppage time, that 4-3 game.
Yeah.
Or, those, you have what you hold what you have, and you defend for your life, and you come out with a point. Liverpool, they drew 3-3. Arsenal, they lost to 4-3, right? Both on last-minute goals. One an equalizer, one a goal to defeat them.
Mm-hmm.
You hold on to those 4 points, maybe we're talking a different story. Maybe it changes stuff. And we've said this before. You got to be a bit pragmatic. And Ipswich are dropping points left, right, and center from positions they shouldn't be. And Leicester are picking up points from positions they shouldn't be getting points in.
Right.
And that's going to bode well for them, period.
So I want to talk about the last match, and then I kind of want to talk about all 6 teams as a whole, because for the most part, this is your... Yeah,
real
please.
quick, Leaf Davis. What a fucking goal.
Yeah, that was fucking
What a strike that was.
What a hit. Fucking
was
perfect little curve to it, and
amazing.
everything was fucking beautiful.
It was gorgeous.
Absolutely beautiful.
Oh.
And
All right,
then,
go
and then,
ahead.
of course, Jordan Ayew scores, because that's what Jordan Ayew does.
I hate him.
Yeah, it's
He's one of my least favorite players.
yeah, you're just like, of course, that fucking
Yeah, I
dick
can't
scored.
stand him.
Wolves Palace, what a fun fucking watch. I mean, now granted, all the goals were in literally a 17-minute span in the second half, but those 2 teams were going for it. There was 2 sides that were like, hey, we want to fucking get 3 today.
Well, it was 2 teams going for it that aren't very good.
Right.
It was quite sloppy at times. They were just giving the ball away left, right, and center, back and forth. I think there was at one point, there was 8 or 9 passes in a row that weren't completed by, collectively.
Right.
It was just, Mark Gahey would pass it to Cunha, who would pass it to Chalobah, who would pass it back to whoever. Will Hughes or, whatever. Excuse me.
Cunha had a hell of a day pulling the strings, but instrumental in both of the 2 goals.
Absolutely.
And looked really good. And then, funny enough,
But then one of his, to accentuate my point, did you see the shot towards the end that he had the mercy of space in front of him to curl one into the far corner, and he slow rolled it about 8 yards wide of the net.
yeah,
Just like,
yeah.
what the fuck is happening
Come on, man!
right
You
now?
had the time to take the. And last week you put that one away. What the fuck? Do it again.
It wasn't even on not even in the same zip code as the target. It was absurd.
And then for Palace, interestingly enough, with all the offensive weapons they have, it's both of their center backs that get the goals for them.
Yeah, and Chalobah, it was excellent technique. Keep that ball down and the manner in which he hit it.
Yeah.
I think Strand Larson is at fault here. Or, unless, that being said, as I'm assuming Jose Sa said something to him. Hey, goalkeeper coming.
Yeah.
Because he should not. Sa's hands are where Larson's head was.
Right.
And he decided to flick it on anyway, and that's what gave Chalobah the opportunity to do it.
Precisely.
Now, that being said, he's fairly composed for a big lad as well, Strand Larson, because that his goal up the other end a few minutes later, which made up.
5-hole, yeah.
Which was, but it looked like he did that little stumble that makes big people tall people look like they have
Giraffe legs.
like baby, giraffe kind of goofiness. But he sorted his feet out and he found the nutmeg, which was the first time I've seen Dean Henderson nutmegged in a long, long time.
So Wolves are still
Mel's
looking.
husband,
Wolves are still looking for
Dean Henderson. You love Dean Henderson.
Nicole,
Oh yeah.
Oh, I thought you did too.
you're confusing Villanistas.
Okay.
Dean Henderson. In the face. In the face. I was the minute it happened, Mel goes, "Oh, Nicole," and I immediately did Lipton breast tea. Okay, we're gonna get back. I can't concentrate.
Yeah.
It's over, Rock. Nothing's over. Just give me something to drink. Love that commercial. The Wolves are still looking for their first win, but they feel so much more convincing to me than the 3 promoted sides.
I don't know, man. Defensively, they're a shambles.
Yeah, I think they get.
Keep giving goals away left, right, and center.
I think they get Southampton this weekend. I think they get their first win.
Mark Gahey got that last goal, obviously.
yep,
Uncle
we
Mark,
mentioned that.
very composed.
Yep.
I don't know what the Tash game is going on all of a sudden, but it's like he watched Pursuit of Happiness and just wanted to be Will Smith because he went full thick Tash.
Yep.
And I find it so strange that that's still a thing.
Now,
There's a couple of older iconic men, obviously, like Tom Selleck. You got to keep the Tash going.
Right.
But new people with Tashes, I don't understand.
So, just to kind of wrap it up, the 6 teams here, we kind of tend to think that these are probably the 6 teams near the bottom.
Could be, but Palace also should have had a winner in this game.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
I don't think I'm not sure what they called that foul for, and I want to get your opinion on it being a goalkeeper. When Nketiah, whoever it was that was running across, stuck their boot out, Jose Sa did not have fucking control of that ball, and the striker had
I don't think he did either. No.
he has every opportunity to go for that ball, and right to go for that ball, and he never once, for me, had possession of it at any point, and
didn't think he did.
that goal should have stood for Mateta.
I agree. I do agree that should have been a goal for Mateta, and I think that it was Sa's mistake, and I don't think that he was holding the ball.
Yep.
Now, so of
See, I thought you'd go opposed to me, goalkeepers union and all.
No. You got to have control. You got to have control of the ball. You do. Like, I mean, well, that was where the Keane rebound for Ramsdale. They were looking to call it a foul. Now, obviously, the ball ended up going wide, but it hit the side of the net, so everybody thought it was in the net, but
Right.
it wasn't. But if that was in the net, I would have given that a better look. Ramsdale didn't have the ball. The ball had hit his hand, it hit off the post, and it kind of came back and hit off of his arm a little. And Keane went through him as he was already falling on the ground and sliding from the diving header. So if that would have been in the back of the net, I would have been like, no, you didn't have possession. Like,
Right.
you got to have possession of the ball. You can't just, now if you're flat out stopping a person from making a save by committing a foul, then that's a problem. But in both of those instances, that was a possession thing, and I don't feel the keeper had the possession in either one. So
Yeah. All right, fair enough. All right, go ahead. I won't interrupt you again.
So of these 6, how do you think it lines up?
Oh, that's tough. That's real tough. I think Wolves have to worry at this stage because people are starting to get points that should be in that conversation also. And what you don't want to do, especially going into the festive period, is dig yourself too much of a hole already and then also not be able to get out of it. This was supposed to be the start of the easier part of their schedule. And they should have lost the game, in my opinion. They could have been a lot tidier in possession. There's a lot of things that was wrong with Wolves' side of the performance. Palace also can point to not being that good in certain situations either in that game. And for Wolves to not take advantage of that, I think is a problem and could speak to a wider issue. I think Gag O'Neill is potentially under some pressure.
Yeah, I would say he's definitely
At the
under
same
pressure.
token, Palace now getting points in consecutive games. I think the pressure is starting to ease on Oli Glasner. Conversely, Southampton, I think, are still going down.
Yeah, I think if Everton would have beat him, Martin would have been fired this weekend.
Could be.
Yeah.
Absolutely could be. Your boys, I think you've started to amass enough points that I think you're going to be distancing yourself from the conversation very soon.
Yeah, agreed.
I don't think you're going to be thereabouts come the end of the season.
And then
by any
Ipswich
means.
and Leicester.
I think Ipswich really has to worry. There's a huge Luton Town feel to them currently. For me, it's still very exciting. Everybody's super happy to see them. They're playing exciting football. They got they're scoring goals like this Leif Davis goal. They're doing all these great things, and ultimately coming away with a point or nil every week. And it's just not going to be enough. Leicester, if they can continue to do this, either share points or get 3 points off of everyone around them, I think they'll be the team that stays up out of the promoted clubs. They have experienced heads in there. A couple of old Tottenham boys, which doesn't bode well for winning anything. Steve Cooper obviously kept Forrest up once already. So you have to take the experience of the manager. You have Jamie Vardy. You have all these players that were pretty much kept from their last Premier League campaign. You add in somebody like Jordan Ayew, who played a part in Palace being mid-table frequently. They've got experienced heads in there. I think they have the best shot, especially after these first 10 weeks. They have the best shot of staying up out of everybody.
For me, I think it's the 3 Premier League sides from last season stay up. I think it's the 3 newly promoted sides going down. And that's not what I said in my beginning of season predictions. Rounding out the rest of the league in anything but, so that happened. Liverpool 2, Brighton 1, Forest 3, West Ham 0, Spurs 4, Villa 1, Man United 1, Chelsea 1, Fulham 2, Brentford 1. Reds now sit atop of the league despite being down at the end of the first half.
Yeah, Nunez should have scored first. Start with that. Verbruggen had a phenomenal save. Kadioglu had another brilliant strike, and Kelleher couldn't get to it, which is how Brighton scored their goal. Absolutely phenomenal hit. The only reason Leif Davis's goal wasn't goal of the weekend for me was because of this strike.
Because this goal.
It was absolutely fantastic. It was wild. Brighton also should have been more goals to the good before halftime.
I don't disagree.
They had a fair few chances as well. You think about Matoma and Welbeck basically playing 1-2s from midfield forward, and then found Kadioglu again, who the volley should have been a bit better in my opinion.
Right.
Was straight down Kelleher's throat. I thought Brighton were on one, but Liverpool again, they since Slot's come in, he's kind of taken the emotion out of it, which is what I enjoyed about Liverpool. You and a lot of other people, which I understand, hated how emotional they were because they got away with dumb shit.
Right, like running out onto the pitch during a fucking match.
That kind of stuff. I thought that stuff was fun. I like when Jose Mourinho goes running down the touchline in games. Like, I think that's fun. Also, this weekend, Jose Mourinho having a knee slide go horribly wrong after they beat Trabzonspor or whoever it was.
No go so good.
He didn't get the right angle and his knees hit and he went a-tumbling.
Yeah. No.
And at his age, that's scary.
Didn't bring to the game not just the basics of football, I believe the basics of life.
Yeah, he definitely didn't bring the basics of physics, I'll tell you that.
And of knee sliding.
Yeah. Could have used a lesson in, angular velocity. Anyway, but Welbeck had a free kick, should have scored. It was a good game. It was an exciting game. Both teams played some slick football. But like I said, Liverpool just had the emotions taken out of them, really. It's just now it's more serial killer is what it feels like. You know what I mean? They're just precise. They're just ruthless.
You know what it is? It's exceptionally Dutch.
It is. It's
so
very
literal.
straightforward and blunt and literal.
You know, the Dutch, a literal people.
Yeah.
We're just like very, this is what we do. This is how we play, but it's fucking working. And they're top of the fucking league.
So you know the quite racist Dutch tradition of Black Pete, right?
Yes, I do know about
and the kind of the ridiculousness around that entire situation. I feel like that was Ten Hag.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the Dutch, total football, kind of everybody chips in and helps out, organization, literal, blunt, very honest, and oversharing. Also, haven't known a Dutch man to not be uncomfortable with getting his bollocks out.
Yeah.
I feel like Arne Slot is the rest of that, and Ten Hag was more of the Black Pete camp.
Yeah, very much so.
That kind of makes sense.
Very much so.
About Dutch culture and how these two Dutchmen got on in their respective Premier League careers.
Forest are in third fucking place, Sam.
I know.
Forest are in third fucking place. Now, certainly West Ham doesn't do themselves any favors with the Alvarez second yellow.
Now, this is where I've been very disappointed up to this point because nothing really funny has happened all week so far. We haven't really been able to crack many jokes.
It's just been good. It's been good football. It
How
was just very entertaining games this weekend.
How long has Alvarez been with West Ham?
I think 2 or 3 seasons now.
Yeah, season and a half minimum.
Yeah.
He got lost after he got sent off and had to do a walk because he forgot where the tunnel was. I don't know if you saw this. He had to do.
No, I didn't.
He had to walk essentially 3/4 of the fucking pitch to get around to the tunnel.
Maybe he was just a man on a journey. He was on his own personal
Trying
growth.
to find himself.
He was in his own personal search for growth.
Somebody said, wasn't he one of the players that was suspended 3 times last year for yellow card accumulation?
I believe so.
He's just like he's a card magnet.
Yeah.
This dude.
Yeah.
But Forest are organized. The it's Wolves Nuno has reemerged. He, you know what it is? He only stayed at Spurs for 4 games before he got sacked or whatever it was. Remember,
right.
The Spurs stink wasn't on him yet.
Yeah.
they couldn't attach their failures to him. Like a specter leaving the Conjuring house for some YouTuber paranormal investigators.
Heard,
you know
very
what I
good,
mean?
yeah.
He was able to shake it off, and he found himself again. And Forest are going crazy. Now, what I do want to say is fuck Nottingham Forest. It has been said today, the big rumor, and pretty much almost true because the club actually released a statement on it. Edu Gaspar, the technical director, sporting director of Arsenal Football Club, who has overseen this massive overhaul of the playing squad with Mikel Arteta, has decided to vacate his post at Arsenal.
Yeah.
To become the CEO of, I don't know the name of the full company, but Marinakis Football Company.
Yep.
Overseeing, there's some
Mavropavos, I thought it was, not Marinakis.
No, Mavropanos is the Greek center back for West Ham.
Oh, yeah. Gotcha.
Marinakis is the Greek owner.
Forgive me.
Greek
last names with M's and a whole lot of consonants could be seen as confusing.
He owns Olympiacos. He's the guy that after that Europa League game walked down on the field with a gun to yell at a referee.
Yep.
A gun on his hip because you're allowed to carry them in Greece still. One of the only European countries that you're allowed to carry guns. Then there's more than that.
Switzerland, the neutral country. Gun crazy, apparently. Got more guns per capita per population than America does.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's only like 14 of them. So
Yeah, exactly. So all 14 of them have a gun.
Not
100%.
overthrown.
Woohoo, they hit. Check. All right, please keep it going.
But Marinakis, so he owns Olympiacos. He owns a Portuguese second division side, I think it is. And then obviously Nottingham Forest. So Edu is going to become Marinakis Football Company CEO.
Yeah, and oversee all
and
the
oversee everything. Rumored to triple his salary from what he's being paid at Arsenal currently. And there were two gentlemen, one with the very lovely last name of Garlic, and the other that were promoted over the last couple of seasons from their respective roles and took away some of Edu's responsibility, it seems. And at the beginning of the season, it was kind of rumored that he was getting kind of anxious vibes around the club. But so fuck Marinakis again for stealing what was one of the best sporting directors in the modern game.
Trophies are nice. Fucking 3 times my salary's nicer. You know,
I hear you.
We are in a money-driven industry and as a whole. So,
Chris Wood scored 8 in his last 10.
Chris Wood is the number 2 goal scorer in the fucking Premier League right now.
It's wild. Erling Haaland better be careful.
He better stay humble.
He's gonna get some kiwis.
them eyes closed with the big meaty forehead. Well, he's gonna score all his goals with his head too.
And a face that goes, huh?
Yeah,
I feel like it's gonna come out because he also mouth breathes. Chris Wood. So I feel like he's just one day he's gonna zone out in an interview and prove me correct that he has the dumbest face in all of football.
So maybe Villa should just start going behind because when they take a lead, it no go so good, and this week no go so good.
No, it did not go so good. They should have been more ahead at halftime as well. Villa, I think, but they had a lot of possession and not a ton of chances.
Yeah.
And then Tottenham, and I'm going to then hand it over to Melissa and let her.
I'm good.
No, you need to discuss them.
Well, then Mel,
Morgan Rogers had a great goal.
It was a great goal.
What poison would you care for, producer Mel?
Oh, well, since he did OG and you did pumpkin spice, I guess that leaves barrel aged for me.
Barrel age for the girly.
But Spurs came out in the second half like they got threatened by a very large, uncircumcised Aussie cock in the dressing room.
Yeah, exactly.
Throwback to a previous conversation. And they all decided that they did not like anal play. And they came out and played really well against Villa in
No
the
matter
second
how hard
half.
you guys try, that's not going to be the show title.
Oh, my God. Yeah, it was...
Working at every opportunity. So are the guys that like it.
Yeah. The second half, it was just a comedy of blunders. Once
I stopped watching after 3.
Once it went up 2-1, like the 3 and 4, like, I mean, thank you, James Madison, for the garbage fantasy points as a sub. At the end
it
of
was
the
a
match.
fantastic free
It
kick,
was
though.
fantastic, but you're just like, fuck, Villa.
Well, now he was
Pal
chomping.
Torres can't make those mistakes.
He was
all the
chomping at
time.
the bit, Madison. He was already lined up, ready to take the free kick. Normally, the ref blows his whistle. You have that. Then the taker takes that breath and does his run up. The second the referee's whistle blew, he was off to strike the ball, and that's what caught Martinez out.
Yeah, he wasn't ready.
But Solanke's goals. I mean, if you once they went up 2-1. If you blinked, you missed the second one.
Yeah.
Essentially, I mean, it happened within 4 minutes.
Yeah.
And then another fucking goal, within 5 minutes of halftime.
Yeah.
Brendan
Yeah.
Johnson comes out in the 49th minute and scores.
Yep,
And
scores
it's
right away.
What are you in the dressing room listening to? Mm-hmm. What are you doing for you to come out and start a half like that? And it's been a big trend this season. All it does is piss me the fuck off.
Everywhere it has been a massive trend this season.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So, producer Mel, what do you guys say there? Time for you to do a little malort.
It hurt.
Yeah, Villa don't fuck.
No.
Villa got fucked.
No. I told Burton, keep my team's name out your motherfucking mouth when he was texting me. Oh, hey, look, Villa fucked. Shut the fuck up, Burton. And then, of course, at the end, I get a little smiley face from Mark. That's it. No words, which is even worse. Just the smiley face. So
Nice.
Go get him, Mel.
Did you notice Son was terribly unhappy
Oh, yeah.
with the
like a
substitution?
little bitch.
But Ange was vindicated, obviously.
Yes, yes. Well, Son.
Is there some unrest? Do we think Son could be on the chopping block this summer?
He's an inspiration for the children, Sam. The fucking children, Sam.
He could
Definitely
be an
not an
inspiration
emotional.
for a different set of children,
Yeah.
maybe in another country.
No, I could see this being the end of Son soon for them. I think
He's not been productive,
it's run its course. I think he's going to want to go someplace else also.
but
I don't
losing
think-
two talismanic I guess the crux of the conversation is how much do the fans believe he's talismanic still? Because they lost Harry Kane, obviously. They went through a bit of a growing pains. Ange comes in. They've got everything's fine. We're kind of recoup, go better.
Yeah.
They have that middle of the season last year when Van der Ven got hurt, and then they came back at the end of the season, won a couple. Now they're started off this season kind of meh
Van der Ven hurt right now currently.
again, right?
Yeah.
But you saw almost a freedom Spurs played without Son on the field.
Yeah.
That maybe. Because the crowd at halftime, the Spurs went off to booze.
Oh yeah. They didn't play well.
But but I'm saying, I think there's been some criticism of Ange lately.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if the club decide if they move on from Son and keep Ange. I wonder how much credit he has in the bank. Before things turn to shit. If he
That's
loses
fair.
2-3 in a row, are they going to get on his back hardcore? You sold Son, it's your fault, fuck you? Or are they going to stay behind the team and stay behind him?
Yeah, that is intriguing.
I find it interesting.
Now, you can say whatever you want, but I get to say the following, and I'm very pleased to say this. Manchester United and Chelsea Football Club played a professional match in the English Premier League. What a fucking boring game.
Bro, I wrote
This was the
three
only
sentences about this.
This is the only so that happened game of the entire week. Every other game, all other 9 matches, something to talk about. Pretty fucking good games. This was a fucking drog to watch.
It was terrible.
Yeah, I mean, do you even want to say your 3 sentences, or did I cover it?
I just wrote, I didn't care for this game. Based on the highlights, the game was boring. Fernandez had a pen on 70 minutes, and then in the 74th, Concedo hit a volley.
Yeah.
That's all I wrote.
Yeah.
It was bad. This was another game that had like 10, 11 passes in a row collectively between the two teams, 2 players of the other team directly.
And
It's
we're not
horrible.
And great, United's got a new coach. We're not talking about it until he starts fucking
Till he's
coaching.
there.
I'm just not talking about it.
Yeah.
There's enough United fans running their mouth about it already. Just let them run their mouth about it, and I'm just gonna.
I mean, that's what they're
ignore
good
them.
at.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. And I'm gonna just ignore them because that's what they deserve.
What I will say about the coaching situation, though, there is one thing. Did you see the interview with Ruud van Nistelrooy in the midweek when they put 5 past whoever they played
Leicester in the cup.
Oh, it was Leicester's, right, in the Carabao Cup. First, also funny, those 5 goals at Old Trafford were more than Manchester United had scored at home all season so far.
Jesus.
Which is quite funny. But then also, Amarin was being rumored, and the real news came as Sporting Lisbon, his current team, went to the Stock Exchange of Portugal and to their own shareholders, saying what the intentions were of Manchester United was to meet his buyout clause and alerting them to this situation. Great. That's not the point. The point is that Ruud van Nistelrooy in the pre-match to this game was basically just like, I mean, if you anything you need, I'll still be around. Like just trying to keep his job, just lobbying to stay on staff.
They're like, come on,
because most managers when they come in, they bring their own team. They do, you know. It was like, I mean, I'll fix the roof if you need me to. I'll do anything you want.
Do whatever you want.
It was just a big lobbying for him to keep his job. It was very funny.
The West London derby lived up to its billing. Now, the one thing that was very funny about this, Fulham dominated the entire fucking match, but for the most of the match, Brentford got their counterattack, scored their goal, a great goal from Janelt, by the way.
Yeah, no, it was fantastic. Yeah,
and
another great strike.
And seemingly Brentford was doing everything right. They were blocking the shots. They were playing good defense.
But everything from Fulham once they reached the final third was tame.
Yeah.
It was either straight at Flecken or it just kind of dribbled through after a deflection or they didn't catch it clean or what have you. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, she didn't.
Oh, I thought you were putting your hand up. I gotcha.
And then Harry Wilson gets subbed in. And all hell breaks loose.
Well, the first goal, fucking phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he didn't mean it. He's just trying to get a flick onto the far post to put it into the mixer.
Right, of course.
But he flicks it to the far corner. It was an excellent, excellent touch.
Yeah.
And if I were him, I'd be like, I totally meant to do that. Mm-hmm. And then I'd go right out tonight and try to bag some ladies.
And be like, yep.
Look what I did today. I'd have the highlight already pulled up on my phone. That's me right
That's
there.
Look
at that.
That's me.
Yeah. They'd look past his very rosy cheeks, too.
Yeah.
And then the diving header. I mean, it's the only thing he could have done with it.
Yeah.
Have it actually miss his head and hit his shoulder and go into the near post, which is also quite strange.
Robinson was
Fantastic
just
cross.
feeding the ball. Oh, he was doing that all match. They just weren't taking advantage of it.
Oh, yeah.
It was, like I said, this match was very much Fulham the whole time. And then as it's getting towards the end, it's like, holy shit, Brentford might finally get one over on Fulham because Fulham
And Brentford aren't terribly good away from home either.
It's a big derby, but it's a bigger derby for Brentford than it is for Fulham. And Fulham it was like the Yankees and the Red Sox when the Yankees used to always beat the Red Sox. It's like, and you're like, here it is. Like, Brentford's finally going to get one.
Yeah.
Nope, wait, Fulham did exactly what they do, which is not the most Fulhamish thing ever, you know?
No, but the other thing, too, I mean, Thomas Frank's going to be absolutely livid with his players. In the build-up to the final goal, Fulham gave the ball to them 2 or 3 times, and they muffed and fucked clearances like you wouldn't believe.
Exactly.
All they had to do was show a bit of composure and keep the ball, and everything would have been fucking fine. And they just didn't. I can't remember who it was. I think it was their right midfielder or right back. Just lumped the ball 60 yards into the air when he had time. And it just, from that play, Fulham come down and score the winner.
Yeah.
It's just like, what are you doing?
Again, a game that absolutely could have opened the show.
For sure.
If it wasn't for the fact that Arsenal and City fucked it off this weekend.
Sure money.
Did you hit a single leg of your bet?
I don't think so.
I don't think you did. I think you missed every
I
fucking leg
picked
of
all
it.
favorites. I think I did pick Liverpool to win.
Okay, so
I might have hit one because I did Liverpool, City, Arsenal. I wanted to.
Yeah, you picked Everton. Everton didn't win. You picked Arsenal. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because you had Southampton. Yeah, I did that too.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, you missed everything.
I did all favorites, and it still fucked big time. Fucked.
Yeah, not good.
No,
not good at all.
Not great.
Well, I missed, and I sit at plus 406.
Big Sam's Lock of the Week.
That still annoys the fuck out of me. I hope you know that.
You think I really like round numbers? The numbers I really like, Sam, are, did you know that 22.2 2% of the time. It works 100% of the time. I love when it's just all twos or all threes. It's the best. It's so funny. Makes me giggle. Very simple. I am doing a parlay of 2 road dogs. I am going to take Fulham over Palace and Bournemouth over Brentford, and that is going to pay plus 656.
Okay, not bad. Not bad.
Yeah.
I'm going to make up most of my $900 in losses with this one here.
9-way parlay.
Just 5. Wolves over Southampton. Somebody's got to win eventually, right? Tottenham over Ipswich. Liverpool over Villa. I think Villa's been very distracted with Europe. Now, rightly so. They sit top of the Champions League.
Yeah, they're top of the fucking Champions League.
But they're in a little bit of a rut in the league. I think they're going to do one
Also
more
went
week.
out of the League Cup, so now they don't have to. They don't have that distraction as well.
But I think they're going to worry more about securing a non-playoff advancing spot, so top 8 in the Champions League, before their league form really picks up. If you want my honest opinion.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So I think Liverpool will have, which all of their players obviously have experience moving on in the Champions League and balancing a league campaign. I think they're going to beat Aston Villa, and they're also at home, Liverpool, in that game. Bournemouth or draw with Brentford. So I'm right on your way. I think Bournemouth's going to continue their fine form. Brentford don't look very good last few weeks. And then Everton or draw with West Ham, because unless David Moyes back in situ, Smokey, West Ham are going to continue to suck.
That's a precursor to injury time. And if somebody wanted to find injury time, Sam, how do they go about doing it?
That's the easiest thing in the world. It's patreon.com/DU Football Show. Just sign up to that $5 tier and you get all of our extra content.
Very good. That game is going to be 1-0. To who? I don't know.
I know who it's going to be, it's going to be to Everton.
It's going to be 1-0. Either West Ham is winning 1-0 or Everton is winning 1-0.
And that gets me a whopping plus 830.
Not good gambling.
$100 bet.
So that would still have you in the negative there, right?
Only by $70 though.
Yeah, you're minus 900 now, right?
Yeah. So it'll only be in the negative by $70, and we would be much closer than we were previously. And I could be back in and make this an actual fun segment to do again.
Grammy folding.
I'm starting to get annoyed. It's starting to piss me off a little bit.
All right. Well, that is going to wrap it up, boys and girls. Mr. Graham, any parting words?
I really don't. Just, if you get disciplined in a meeting this week or something happens where you need to leave and leave quickly from what you're doing, make sure you know the layout of your office and you don't end up having to wander the entire thing to exit the building.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Very wise words. Next up is DU Does the EFL, where we are going to talk about the
it's not, Sam.
rest of the English Football League.
You said the EFL.
The EFL.
Yeah, we don't. It's DU Does EFL.
I said DU Does EFL.
You said the.
Oh, okay. I said the. My
You
apologies.
fucked it.
Yeah, I did fuck it. It's DU Does EFL.
Right.
Like Debbie
Does
does Dallas.
Exactly.
My apologies.
I will call you up on that every time.
We're still going to continue the live stream for that. And of course, that show is completely free to you. So just look for DU Does EFL show and you can subscribe to that as well.
Absolutely.
And the most important thing was the first round of the FA Cup this weekend.
Yes, it was.
So we got to talk about that.
We are. And what the FA Cup, when the proper round started, brings into the national and subsequently international consciousness, fantastic names. We had a Tommy Tonk in this round, and he is managed by a man named Andy Peaks.
Even better. Fucking love it. Absolutely
Which is
fucking love
brilliant.
it. And of course, then injury time, where we're going to preview the weekend's action, talk about our fantasy teams and the beers that we've been drinking.
Yes.
And you've just already mentioned it. So just one more time, real quick, for everybody, if you want to support our show in another way, how do you go about doing that?
Patreon.com/DU Football Show, and it's $5 a month subscription, and you get the preview show, injury time, and also soundcheck.
Yeah, there we go.
Sam said, very easy to do, and helps us tremendously.
Till next week, everybody.
Good night.
Hello and welcome to DU Does the EFL. Oh, I did it again. Does EFL. I'm a fucking professional, right?
Right, big time. Yeah,
A completely biased brief recap of the rest of English football as told by two common American schmucks. I am your host, Sam Houston, and across the way from me, a man who always likes to point out when I make mistakes, Mr. Samuel Graham.
Especially when you tout yourself big time.
Well, you know what? I'm the one doing it with no fucking music, and it still sounds like a damn good show, so you can fuck right off. You'd get all in your feels and start crying and shit.
If only you knew the name of the show that you made.
Yeah,
It would be great.
Yeah, DU Does EFL.
There you go.
And on the ones and twos, producer Mel. How we doing over there, producer Mel? A little premature on the ones and twos. You know, I introduce you each week, right? You know, you're.
You know, some weeks you don't.
Okay, well, I introduce you each week. You know what?
Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't.
You know what? I introduce you when you're worthy of being introduced. And right now, I'm second guessing why I introduced you tonight.
Yes, I know who somebody's voting for.
Championship Corner!
I've fallen and I can't get up.
Hey.
Oh no!
Now, what's beautiful though is that also, you know what else happened? Completely forgot the call to action. But that's because she already fucked it up by hitting the goddamn button too early.
At
Sorry,
DU Football
Ross.
Show on all the social medias and DU Football Show gmail.com to get in touch by email.
I can't keep it in my pants. I'm just too fired up about fucking the FA Cup. Alrighty, so Leeds.
The way you said that sounds like
No,
you're going
please
to mushroom
don't
chip
do
the
an
FA
Eddie
Cup.
Martinez on the FA Cup.
Pretend like you don't feel the exact same way, Graham.
It's a good looking trophy.
Yeah, well, you know, but that
Well, this time change is fucking me big time.
Managed to keep you awake. How about that? Doing a good job there, Mr. Graham.
The last 2 years, this time change has really fucked with me.
Leeds have moved into second place. They're only 3
Thanks
points
for your
back.
concern.
Yeah, you know. I let you.
Exactly right.
I let you speak your truth. Very professional of you to yawn into a microphone. I'm just moving on and doing the show. Talk about me being a motherfucking professional. Into the fucking
I never
microphone.
claimed to be.
I'm a sleepy boy.
I fell ass backwards into this job.
I have too many girls and I'm tired.
I am tired.
I'm tired all the time. This sucks.
Not all of us can just sashay around the house and nap all day.
Well, Leeds had a convincing 3-0 win over Plymouth, and our friend Geck kind of gave me a little
So
reporting
was
on
it
it.
convincing, or was Plymouth just that pitiful?
Plymouth was that pitiful. Like, you saw the stats, like no shots, no
Not even-
nothing. Not even a shot. Not a shot.
Not a shot, period.
Yeah, not a shot on goal. No
Not
shots. You can't achieve a shot on goal if you don't have a shot.
One of the greatest English strikers that's ever played the game is their manager.
Yeah.
Not a single shot.
As he put it, he said it felt like
Watching
team-
Manchester United.
a team that did not want to play for their manager.
Oof.
Is the vibe he got.
You know what is never a good sign?
It's okay, producer Mel. You're doing fine.
You know what's
The show's
never
already
a good
off the
sign
rails.
is when you start calling your players out like that.
Yeah, not good.
Not good at all.
Well, there is one damning stat in that match, Mr. Graham, that should annoy you. Not a single booking for Plymouth either, so they didn't even care.
Another problem.
Yeah, like if you're going to get your ass kicked,
At least show some gumption.
put some butts on the ground, get a few cards,
Hit somebody.
show that you actually care.
Yeah, it's pitiful, man. It's just absolutely pitiful. By the way, everyone, also, we are drinking the same shit we were in the last show.
Yeah, because it's really fucking good.
Always remember to drink responsibly and all that
Really,
jazz.
really fucking good. All right. Sunderland and Burnley both drew, while the Blades got a big win over Blackburn.
Yes.
Watford have moved back into the playoff position with a 6-2 thumping of Wednesday on Saturday. Yeah. Now, worth
That's
mentioning,
big time.
not any crazy fixtures for the next weekend, but there are some interesting fixtures for the midweek because they're doubling up because they're getting ready to go on international break. So the week before and the week after international break, they always double up matches on them. And then soon you start to put in FA Cup and stuff like that. It's
Right.
gonna
So, I mean,
really
they're
affect
basically playing every 3 days for the next 4.5 months.
Yeah, for the most
in the
part.
championship.
The key fixtures to look at: Pompey is going to be at Plymouth. So
It's
if ever there's a chance for
huge
Pompey
game.
to get a win, here it is, because Plymouth is kind of imploding under Wayne Rooney.
And Pompey need it.
Leeds is at 7th place Millwall, who Millwall's shot up the table now, and they were down near the bottom at the start, so they've been on a roll.
That may be, off the top of my head, without sitting and having to think about it too hard, the most unlikable game in English football.
God, yeah. Because everybody
Leeds versus Millwall.
Yeah, everybody
Fuck
hates
off.
Millwalls and everybody hates Leeds.
Yeah, I don't know that. Ugh.
Everybody liked Millwall for about 30 seconds when the dude on the bridge took
The terrorist with the machete.
With the machete,
Went,
he
fuck
took
you,
him
I'm
on.
Millwall.
Yeah, and then we all were reminded exactly what fucking just racist assholes fucking Millwall supporters are, and went, yeah, fuck them again. And the other one worth mentioning is West Brom are hosting Burnley, so that's another big one too.
It's another big game, yeah.
And Blackburn just slid out of the 6, and West Brom's right on the edge right now. So, yeah.
Hopefully they pulled out of the FA Cup. So.
Very good. So League One had a few games in hand. Reading losing badly to Stockport right after we gave them the
All the praise. Curse of the old commentator there.
the DU bump.
Yeah.
And Bolton also beat Stevenage by the exact same score, 4-1.
Nice. Good for Bolton, though.
League
I like
2
that.
only had one game in hand, and it was Salford and Fleetwood Town. Both drew 2-2.
Salford,
And-
isn't that where Paul Scholes is from originally?
Yes.
I think that's right.
Yeah. But his the boyhood club he loved is Oldham, I believe.
It's Oldham, yeah. They're all part of the greater Manchester area. Mel, fun
Don't worry,
fact,
we'll be talking about them in a second.
didn't Paul Scholes try to bite his daughter's toenail off or something for her?
I think so,
He
yeah.
definitely had his daughter's toes in his mouth, which is weird.
Yeah, very weird.
And it's she was older than a baby.
Yeah. Not good.
No.
Not good at all.
It was not great.
All right, so first round of the FA Cup. This is when all the non-league sides who have been doing their playoff games to get in are now playing League One and League Two. Again, thing to remember about the FA Cup, oldest trophy in Europe, right? Not just
the
England.
oldest knockout competition in the world in sport. Just
And
flat out knockout competition, period.
It is all blind draw. You don't know who the home team is going to be. You don't know who the visiting team is going to be. The only major change that's been made to this tournament now is that there's no longer replays if there's a draw. It now goes to shootouts, which kind of sucks because it's a massive payday for some of these smaller clubs. If you have United come to your building and you draw them 1-1, then you go a week later, you go to United and you're going to get your ass kicked, but you also are going to get the gate.
Right.
Which will pay your bills for the entire fucking season.
Pretty much, yeah, exactly.
So let's talk about it just a
Some
little.
huge upsets though in this round. I mean, it was a ton of fun, and this was the first round proper. So, as you said, all the kind of non-league clubs and stuff have these qualification rounds prior to blah blah blah. First round proper, you get League One and League Two teams join. And then the third round proper is when you have all the Premier League clubs join.
Typo here. I had 17, but it's actually 18. Lincoln City won their match today as well.
Nice.
So 18 of the 24 sides from League One advanced. The most notable early exit. Wrexham AFC loses 1-0 to a League Two side.
Now, I wonder if did Wrexham rest a lot of players because they're flying high in League One? Did they try to not take this seriously?
You really got to dig to see who all was playing and stuff like that. Like just off the simple apps that I've been working off of, they're
not having any of that kind of stuff. I got you.
Any of it.
Yeah, fair enough.
You don't get to see any of the numbers. You don't.
Right.
I
got you.
And when we're talking about this many games, I mean,
it's hard. You
I'm
can't
not
digging through all that shit.
Just not.
I gotcha.
Like I didn't even write up anything about any of the non-league sides yet because we're gonna wait till see if they make it to the fucking third round. If they do, then we're gonna give them
pay attention.
all the fucking glory. But we are gonna mention some of their names because there's some fucking
good names.
Fucking great names in there. Then League Two has only half of their teams advanced, 12 of 24.
Nice.
But good news, Aki advanced. Shrimps out, bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, Morecambe
That's right.
Gets the advance. We know it's Morecambe. We call him Morecambe from Harambe, so fuck off. We have
Who I'll be writing in tomorrow's presidential election.
Shimps up for Morecambe. Too funny. So we have 8 non-league sides advancing to the second round, and this is going to be on the weekend of November 30th. So there'll be 20 matches on that weekend. They include Tamworth, Dengham, Oldman, Wealdstone, and
Solihull Moors.
Solihull Moors, and they are who knocked out the mighty Maidstone.
Yeah.
Last year's darlings who
sad.
made it to the 4th round
It's sad.
are out.
It is sad. Dagenham and Redbridge, there's some old names in there. Dagenham and Redbridge, Oldham Athletic, of course.
Yeah.
I've heard of Wealdstone before. Never actually seen them play or anything else, but
Solihull
I've heard
Moors.
the name. And Solihull Moors is a very old name.
Yeah, very
That's
old club.
closed around a long time.
They are all in the National League, and then we have some 6th division teams
I like it.
in here too. So we have Harborough Town, and they're from the Southern Division, and then we have Brackley, and get this one, Gainsborough Trinity FC from the Northern Division.
Now,
God, I hope they make it to the 3rd round so we can talk all about that team.
I know, same. But if they're not using #gains as one of their hashtags, they're
Hashtag
missing
gains.
the boat. They're missing
Absolutely
the boat.
case.
And Harborough Town, fun fact about them, that is where the Haribo factory is.
No shit.
No, I fucking made that up.
I gotcha. Oh no, you are a wealth of useless fucking knowledge.
That
Mr.
is
Graham,
true, I
so
am.
That's what I'm normally typically used to with you.
I do have to say this was the League Cup game.
I'm going to talk about League Cup in a second.
You have it on your
Yeah,
phone.
yeah, I
Is
have it
that
on.
where Wickham was with the video I shared? Was that League Cup or was that FA Cup?
I think that was League Cup.
I think
yes.
it was League Cup.
Yeah, I
Okay,
believe it
all
was
right.
League
Then
Cup.
I'll save it for that conversation.
Oh.
Then. Yeah, but #gains got to get through.
Well, no, because the League Cup they lost to Villa in the last round, 2 rounds ago. So no, that might have been FA Cup this weekend. If that
might
was
have been.
It was FA Cup this weekend.
All right, so I'll pop it in here real
Please,
quick.
go for it.
Whoever Wickham played, I don't even know who they played, is another decent-sized club, though. I mean, Wickham's a decent-sized club as well. But this is why they are foregoing Wycombe status, where Morecambe is Morecambe forever
Right.
now. Because Wickham decided to allow, and I'm not sure how it happened, but they set up a guy on a stag do, his bachelor party. They set him up, dressed him up as Elsa, and he got onto the pitch at halftime and was forced to sing by his groomsman, was forced to sing Let It Go from Frozen dressed as Elsa. The best part about it is at Wickham Stadium, they did karaoke style and put the words up on the big screen.
No shit.
The video I shared of that incident in our closed Facebook group, Drunken United FC on Facebook. Make sure you're finding that for all your #bands.
I stand corrected. 9 teams. Kettering won also.
Kettering Town won, yeah.
Kettering Town
so
won
that's
as
who
well.
Tommy Tonk and their coach Peaks is. And if they don't use like Peaksy's blinders as their hashtag or something, they're missing a boat too.
Yeah, heard.
You good?
Let's see here.
That looks
Yeah,
painful.
Kettering beat Northampton Town, so Shack's Northampton Town. Dengham beat Crew Alexandra 1-0. Let's see. Looking at the other ones here. Harborough Town beat Tonbridge, so they got the luck of a league's non-league side too in their game.
And Wickham, I think Wickham advanced.
Yeah,
'Cause that would've-
Wickham beat York.
Yeah, that
who
would
is
have. They
top
would
of
have
the
looked
league,
very.
National League.
They would have looked very silly
Yeah.
had this guy been singing "Let It Go" at halftime and then they lost.
In a bit of a derby because Oldham's just outside of Manchester City. Oldham, their win was 2-1 over Tranmere.
2-1 over who?
Tranmere,
Oh yeah,
the lower league version of the Northwest Derby.
yeah.
Let's see. Wealdstone beat Grimsby Town 1-0. Oh, unfortunately, Bristol Rovers won this one, but they beat Weston Supermare.
Nice. It's a damn good horse from what I've heard.
Yep.
She's a super mare.
Sully Hill Moors, obviously, they beat Maidstone 3-0. Everything else, yeah, that's about it. Yeah, I just wanted to go through a few of those. Now, the other thing we do want to mention real quick is the FA Cup.
League Cup.
Yeah, the League Cup, I'm sorry. We're just going to say real fast who all is playing because it's all Premier League.
Yep.
So,
it's the first time in 8 years or something crazy
Yeah,
that it's an all Premier League quarterfinals.
yeah. And for me, there's only one outcome I want to see, and I'll talk about it in a second. But we have Arsenal's hosting Palace, Newcastle is hosting Brentford, Southampton is hosting Liverpool, and Tottenham is hosting Manchester United. The only final I want to see, and I hope that it doesn't get fucked up into the semis and that all the teams advance. I want a North London derby for the fucking final.
Yeah.
That's what it's going to be. It's either that or I want to see like a Brentford win one or Newcastle win one.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's for me it's North London derby. All day.
And you never know what's going to happen when they draw those balls out. You never know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
But-
yeah, that's I just
I would like that to happen as well.
I just want to see it because it'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, 100%. Because both teams desperately need a trophy.
Yeah, very much.
Tottenham haven't won one since television was invented, I don't think.
And part of
Arsenal's been, with 4 years now almost since that FA Cup win and Arteta's first season in charge. So
yeah, he needs a couple of trophies. So that's absolutely the case. All right, well, that's going to wrap it up, Mr. Graham. Any parting words?
Not really, no. I don't really have much going on. Just let it go, Sam,
It's November 30th. Pop on the old ESPN Plus and watch some random-ass FA Cup games.
It's fun.
That's what I would say.
It really is fun to do.
Yeah, especially look for the ones where it's a lower league side.
Did Paramount get something?
Paramount has the EFL.
They took the championship, the whole EFL from ESPN.
Yep.
But ESPN still have the FA Cup.
And also Paramount has the League Cup as well. They just don't have
I thought they had the League Cup.
Yeah, the FA Cup is with
it's still with ESPN.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I know.
Yeah.
That's better than Fox.
Yeah, it's true.
Kinda. Fox is horrible.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Till next week.
A lot of other things actually. Pretty bad at too.
Till next week, everyone.
Good night.